Hello and welcome to the Fairy Coach Tarot. We are going to do our weekly reading today, and it is from Monday, February 9th to Sunday, February 15th. And today, Monday the 9th, we are in the last quarter moon. So the last quarter moon is what's influencing the energy this week. Right? So we're going to look at what to focus on and what to release also this week, because the last quarter moon, that waning of the moon towards the new moon, it's about releasing. So we're going to focus, we're going to do a reading on both what to focus on and what to release on this week. So we are going to choose one deck, one fairy, and look at the energies for this coming week. Get ready and let's ground, center, and connect. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Hold it at the top. And exhale gently through the mouth. Let's do it 2 more times. Inhale through the nose. Hold at the top. And exhale, making your exhale longer than the inhale. And the last time. Inhale through the nose. Hold for a couple of seconds and exhale gently through the mouth as if you were blowing a birthday candle. All right, so now please choose without thinking the one that calls to you, the pink fairy, the blue fairy, or the yellow fairy, or one of the decks. Ready? Let's begin with the pink fairy. All right. What does this week call us to focus on and to release? And we're going to pull for the beginning of the week, for the middle of the week, and towards the end of the week, the weekend. All right, so we begin with Judgment. And beautiful card to begin just this Monday, that, as I said, is the last quarter moon. So we are on the release phase towards that new moon. And Judgment is a card that, it's what it says, it's about kind of assessing where we are, right? So looking back at how far we've come, and what we feel called to do, what things are interests of us, and also reassessing if we are in the right path, because sometimes we have certain goals for our life, there are certain things that we want, and then life gets in the way, things get in the way, and we are not following the path to where we want. So what does this card asks you at the beginning of this week, that would say Monday and Tuesday? It's to reassess where you are, to look at your life, look at every aspect of your life, and see if you are on the path you want to be. If your actions, your choices, your decisions are taking you closer to the things you want, or are shifting and making you go farther from your goals. So beginning of this week is all about centering, thinking, reflecting, and gaining that awareness to see where you are and if you are on the right path and what to do. So it's a major arcana card. It's all about the things that are happening inside of you, these major shifts, and the energy is calling for you to do just that. Reflect and reassess. And the middle of the week, so that we would say Wednesday and Thursday, and we have the King of Swords. And what does the King of Swords asks us to do? So this is a king knows how to rule, right? And swords is the air element. So the air element is our communication, our intellect, right? And what does the King of Swords come to let us know? That is it's time to focus on our communication and our thoughts, and to rule both communication and thinking. So to be aware of any thoughts that come in, any thought patterns, and how to challenge them, right? So we rule over intrusive thoughts that come in, and also how we communicate. So important is assertive communication, and think of it as if you want to do this exercise, if you have a tarot deck, taking the King of Swords and thinking of that King of Swords, that he's kind of detached from his emotions. It's that masculine energy, and he knows how to rule. So rules, communication and intellect, right? So this is what the middle of the week is calling. And what about the end of the week? So now we're looking at Friday, Saturday and Sunday. So from Friday towards the weekend. And here we have another major arcana, the Fool. And what is the Fool saying? Be adventurous, right? It's about starting new. And so we are, if we see it as if it flows together. So we're beginning the week with the tarot asking, okay, take a seat, think of how far you've come, think about the things you want from this moment on, the things that are calling you, and reassess, kind of like map your life right now, and see where you have to let go of certain things that are not working out and focus on others, right? So beginning of the week, time to reassess. Middle of the week, about your thoughts, communication, intellect, ruling your thoughts, not going down the rabbit hole of negative thoughts. And the weekend, it's time to begin after this reassessing and this going into thinking patterns and challenging them. It's about taking that first step towards a new adventure, towards something new that you want to do, right? So seeing the weekend as a time to be more carefree. You've had a week where intensive thoughts and feelings may have come in, and the weekend is about to let go. So the guidance that the tarot would give you for the weekend is follow your joy, do something fun, do something adventurous, have the strength to take that first step towards something you wanted, towards asking that person out instead of waiting for them to ask you out, to go to a place that you've always wanted, maybe the new restaurant, or go on a hike that you've been planning to do and you've never really found when to do it. Do something adventurous, do something fun, and take steps towards the things that you really want, right? So I hope you enjoyed your reading. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel as that helps me. And remember to visit my website and my Gumroad storefront for the offerings. It's a very nice reading. And remember, take the beginning of the week to reassess where you are, challenge any negative thoughts in the middle of the week, and follow your joy and do something adventurous when the weekend comes. All right, let's go with the second deck, that blue fairy. All right, so let's continue. So now we are going to look at the week for those of you who have picked the blue fairy. All right, let's see what this week is asking of us. All right, we're going to start with a card for the beginning. Ooh, look at all these that jumped out. So I'm of the belief that when cards jumped out like this, we need to keep them in mind. So we were asking for the beginning of the week, and we're going to keep those in mind, and we're going to leave them there. And that's, I always say, if they jumped out, they want to tell us something. So, middle of the week. Let's see what the cards say. And now the end of the week. And that would be from Friday towards the weekend. So let's see what cards jumped out and what did they want to say. So the first one that jumped out is the Queen of Swords. Then we have the Ace of Wands, and then we have the Tower. So very a lot of movement, very high energy at the beginning of the week, right? Again, we are in the last quarter of the moon, so it's time to release. And this Queen of Swords is asking you to step into your power, right? So the way I would put it is that the week begins by asking you to not just go with the flow. So to step into your power right now, to take that sword, and again, swords, air element, intellect, communication. So step into your power. And because it's a queen and it's feminine energy, again, this is not about genders, it's about energy, right? So the queen energy is not a dominant, aggressive, or yes, dominant, aggressive type of energy, but it's a gentle one. But still, even though it's a gentle energy, it's telling you step into your power right now at the beginning of the week. And that's because it's time to create, and it's time to, it's like instead of the sword, kind of this queen that knows how to be assertive and knows how to be strong and is empowered, takes a magic wand and says, okay, besides ruling myself, I am going to rule my outer life, right? And these are the things that I'm going to do. And interesting, it comes with the Tower, but the Tower, as you see, is the third card in these three cards that jumped out. So what is coming here, it's about releasing, and it's saying, hey, take at the beginning of this week, with that energy of the last quarter moon, step into your power, be determined for new starts, and because you want to release things to begin new things, it's time to look at things that are not built in a solid foundation. And don't look at the Tower card here as destruction, as a lot of people can see it as destruction, and it can mean destruction sometimes, but other times it's liberation, right? Freedom of things that are not working because they are not built on a good foundation, because there is no stability. So an ending is also a beginning. It is not destruction in a bad sense, but it can mean liberation. So when we have these three cards together, it means ask of yourself at the beginning of this week, how can I empower myself from a place of gentleness, right? It's like a gentle strength. And I want to do this in order to start creating new things in my life. And for that, I need to let go of something. Let go of something that is not built in a solid foundation. And by letting it go, I'm going to find a freedom I'm looking for. So, very strong energies for you at the beginning of the week with this last quarter moon that we're in. Now, we're going to look at the middle of the week right now for you. That would be Wednesday and Thursday. And what is the tarot asking us? So here we have the Three of Wands, and this is much calmer energy that it's coming for Wednesday and Thursday. And here it says, okay, we've done some work if we follow this advice, right? So there is an advice here. And if we follow this advice, we have taken this one, right, and say, okay, I'm going on this direction. So the middle of the week is asking for action, right? So we've done the mental work and the emotional work to release, and now is about taking action. So ask yourself in the middle of the week, what step can I take towards what I've decided for myself? Towards that empowerment, towards letting go of something, so I can build something new. So, this is a card of action towards what you have decided mentally and what you've decided emotionally in your heart. And now let's look at the end of the week, Friday and the weekend. And what is the tarot asking you once again? And now we have the Queen of Wands. And we have a lot of wands. We have them at the beginning of the week, in the middle of the week, and at the end. So wands is what's ruling your week. It's a fire element. And then we have two queens. You start with one queen and you end with another queen. What is this queen asking you? So this queen asking here, you've been asked to take action, even if it's a small step. And now this queen is telling you, okay, now we change that energy of empowerment with an energy of confidence. This queen is extremely confident, has confidence on the future, has confidence on the relationships, has confidence on the actions she takes, right? So it's different from the empowerment that this queen is asking you here. This one is already does not need to step into her power. She's already in her power. She's already in her fire. So the weekend, what is asking you is confidence. You are taking steps, you're doing the inner work. This is all about being confident as you step forward. What you should be asking yourself here: what is helping me build my confidence? Yes, know what makes you feel confident. For some people, maybe something in outer appearance, the way you dress. From others, confidence comes from doing physical activity. From others, it's about meditation and centering themselves. So, what's making you feel confident so you can adopt this energy of confidence that the Queen of Wands is asking of you? Okay, excellent reading. A lot of strong fire energy with the wands, and a softer energy of the queens that is asking for inner work, right? On empowerment and confidence. So if you've liked this reading, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and please visit my website and my Gumroad storefront to see the offerings that I have. All right, let's go with the last deck, the Yellow Fairy. All right, here comes the Yellow Fairy, our third deck, to look at the energies of the week. All right, let's begin with the card for the beginning of the week. What we have coming for the middle of the week and the end of the week and weekend. All right. So how does the week begin for us? And it is the Empress. And the beautiful Empress, this mother energy. And here we have her saying this is a time to nurture, to create, to motherly love anything from our relationships, our projects, anything that's valuable to us, anything that's love. And how can we make it grow? How can we be creative with our thinking, creative in our lives, right? All those things that we want either to grow, either to bring to life. So this is the energy. This is what the beginning of the week calls for us, right? So what are certain things that you are looking for um, growing into your life? What are things or people that you love so much that you would need to pour more of yourself to, more love, more attention, more time? So think of those people, those relationships, or those projects, or that work. When you see the Empress giving you advice and telling you, this is the time for you to pour into these places or into these things because you love them. So in order to nurture them, so they can grow, um, they can feel your love, right? Now, here I want to couple with, we are at the last quarter of moon, like I've already mentioned a few times. So this is a time with the moon energy, is a time to release, right? So just as something that we looked at before with the other deck, and here it's also, so if there is something in your life that requires more of your time, more of your affection, more of your nurturing, because the Empress is paired up with this energy of the last quarter of moon. So also reflect on, where have I been giving time, attention, or putting my energy in that has taken away from what's really important. So you can do that shift. Where was my attention, my time, and my energy being put that was taking it away from what really matters? This is a very important question for you at the beginning of the week. Now, let's look at the middle of the week. And we have another major arcana. We have the Hanged Man. So the middle of the week is asking for a different perspective. This is not a time for action. This is not a time for um, to make changes, but this is a time to center yourself and do like the Hanged Man, do like Odin did, that is kind of like go upside down to find that enlightenment. So take the middle of the week. So I always think that the middle of the week when I do these readings would be Wednesday, Thursday, right? Because here we have Monday, Tuesday, here we have Wednesday and Thursday. So Wednesday and Thursday, pause. Pause, not direct your energy, your actions, anything. Here you were doing a lot of reflecting. Now it's pause and change your perspective. Change how you're looking at things, right? Challenge your thinking, your actions, even and see, how can I look at things from another way? So if you usually look at things standing up, right, and this is what the default mode is, let's change it up a little bit. How can I look at things from another perspective? What will I learn about myself, my relationships, and the way I approach life by changing that perspective? All right. So, very interesting reading for you. Now let's look at the end of the week. And wow, you got three major arcana cards. So it is a very interesting week for you. And major arcana, major energies, and a lot of inner work. So the way I see the major arcana and the phases that we go through, and what the tarot is asking when we see a lot of major arcana, is inner work more than outer work, right? And we had the week starting, where are we focusing our energy? Where are we putting our efforts? Middle of the week, let's change perspective. Let's challenge so conventional thoughts and beliefs and things that we have. And the end of the week. The end of the week is all about hope, is all about following our deep, our purpose, our call, our star, right? So again, it's all about going within and what is it that is guiding you? What is your star? It could be a purpose at work. It could be a relationship that I know for a lot of parents, mothers, or their purpose are their children. Or for someone else is an important, right now, an important project at work, or the purpose of their profession, right? So here we have that at the end of the week is about thinking about your purpose and uh, answering this question: what is my star? What is guiding me? And again, these three major arcana cards are asking for a lot of inner work. So instead of focusing so much on the outside, it's about going inwards, right? Again, beginning of the week. Where am I putting my efforts, my love, my attention, my time? And where can I redirect it so it's going in the right place? Where can I change perspectives in the middle of the week? What do I need to challenge about the conventional ways I've been thinking about my life, about myself, about my relationships? And at the end of the week is what's guiding me? And let me just make sure that I am taking steps and following directions or for me based on what's my star and not what someone else or society or anybody else is doing, but what's yours, right? Very powerful reading for you. Big three major arcanas. Actually, all the readings from what we've seen today, these last quarter of the moon in February is coming really powerful and interesting. I hope you enjoyed this reading. Give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and reach out for your personal reading or your either a live session with me or a pre-recorded reading, and we can look more in depth into your particular personal relationship. Link in my bio. I will also leave a link on the comments. And again, follow me for daily shorts and daily little reels on my all my social media to see what is the daily guidance from the tarot. I hope you have a magical rest of your week and brightest blessings.